The snow fell hard that night, thick flakes swirling like ghosts in the headlights of Ethan Cole's black SUV. He was heading home from another late board meeting, the kind where deals worth millions were signed while his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, waited alone with her nanny. He told himself it was for her future, but the guilt still pressed heavy on his chest. He almost didn't see her. A flash of movement on the side of the icy road made him slam the brakes. There, in the blinding white, stood a young woman. No coat, just a thin nurse's uniform, holding 2 crying infants wrapped in blankets. Her hair was soaked, her lips trembling. She looked terrified. Ethan jumped out. "Hey, are you okay?" She shook her head, voice breaking between sobs. "My car. It broke down. My babies, they're freezing. Please." I didn't know what else to do. Without hesitation, he ushered her and the twins into his car, cranking the heat to full blast. The babies, tiny, red-faced, maybe only a few months old, were crying weakly. She tried to calm them, but her hands were shaking too badly. Ethan pulled off his coat and wrapped it around her. "You'll catch your death out there. What's your name?" "Grace," she whispered. "Grace Nolan." "Okay, Grace. You're safe now." He drove to his mountain cabin nearby, the place he only used to escape the noise of the city. The storm raged harder as he carried the twins inside, helping Grace to the fireplace. She burst into tears again when the warmth finally touched her skin as she fed her babies and sipped the hot tea he made. Ethan noticed the exhaustion in her eyes, the kind that didn't come from a single bad night, but from years of struggle. "Where were you headed?" he asked softly. Her voice was quiet, trembling. "Nowhere. I was leaving town. I lost my job last week. The landlord changed the locks today. I had nowhere else to go." Ethan froze, the weight of her words sinking in. "You mean you're homeless?" She nodded, clutching her twins closer. "I was trying to reach my sister in another state, but the car gave out. I was just trying to keep them alive." Something inside him cracked open. He had all the wealth in the world. Yet here was someone who had nothing but love for her children and still fought to survive. That he stood, pacing for a moment before turning back to her. "You're staying here tonight. No arguments." Grace's eyes widened. "I can't impose." "You're not," he interrupted gently. "You're saving me from another empty evening." That night, while the storm howled outside, Ethan found himself holding one of the babies so Grace could rest. The tiny boy curled against his chest, breathing softly. For the first time in years, Ethan felt peace. Morning sunlight spilled across the snow-covered valley when Grace woke up. She blinked at the sight of Ethan making breakfast with Lily, his daughter giggling as she tried to flip pancakes. It was simple, ordinary, and it made her eyes fill with tears. Over the next few days, as the storm kept them trapped together, laughter slowly replaced silence. Grace shared stories from her years as a pediatric nurse. Ethan found himself listening, smiling more than he had in months. Lily adored her, and the twins' cries seemed softer in Grace's arms. But one evening, as the power flickered, Ethan walked into the living room to find Grace staring at a worn photograph, her late husband in military uniform. "He died last year," she whispered. "I thought I could handle it, but everything fell apart." Ethan didn't speak. He simply reached out, resting a hand on her shoulder. "You're not alone anymore," he said quietly. Days later, when the storm finally cleared, Grace packed her few belongings, ready to leave. She thanked him for saving her, for giving her children warmth and safety. But as she stood at the door, Ethan's daughter ran up, clutching her hand. "Don't go," Lily said softly. "We need you." Grace looked up, eyes glistening. Ethan's gaze met hers, full of something unspoken. Something new. He took a slow breath. "Grace, what if you stayed? I could use a nurse for my foundation's children's hospital project. And Lily could use a friend." Grace blinked, stunned. "You'd do that for me?" "For you and for them," he said, glancing at the twins. "Everyone deserves a new beginning." Outside, the last of the snow melted under the winter sun as Grace whispered, "Maybe this is ours." And for the first time in a long, long while, Ethan Cole, the man who had everything, realized he'd finally found what he'd been missing all along.